Alrighty, been a very hectic week. Almost keep forgetting today that we have one more of these to get through yet before we're caught up and before Twin Paranormal likely puts out another video tomorrow. So here we are, some more Paranormal Files. And tonight's episode, Alone in America's Scariest Prison. I don't know, a lot of them seem pretty active. Brushy Mountain Penitentiary, horrifying paranormal activity. Well, it's Brushy Mountain Penitentiary, so let's go. Paranormal Files, begin! And actually, let's skip ahead a little bit. So let's get past the weird intro bit and get right to the sauce. Yeah, nice.
On tonight's episode of the show, I'm going to be staying alone overnight in the Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary.
Alone? Oh, yeah, this is going to be tense for him, I betcha.
The Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary is known to be one of the bloodiest prisons in American history. The Paranormal Files, I'm Collin Brown. This is one of the scariest things I've ever done, and yeah, you're watching the Paranormal Files.
Indeed. And all by yourself this time. Oh, it's been a while since you've been solo, man.
Looking good for me tonight,
and this is going to be a heck of a huge, intense place for you to do it.
There's certain places where when you drive up, you can immediately start to feel. And this?
Dangerous since 1896.
Jesus.
You know, every time I come here, my stomach drops.
So he does have some people at least driving him up here.
My name's Collin Brown. I'm from the channel The Paranormal Files on YouTube. I've been ghost hunting for 8-9 years. So tonight I'm at the Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary. This place has an incredibly dark and violent past.
It was a brutal place. It got a really bad name. It's called End of the Line. We house some of the worst criminals here.
Those are my favorite types of locations. Over 10,000 deaths here. That's mind-blowing to me that so many people have died here, and in horrible ways. I'm very afraid right now.
You should be.
Oh, jeez.
You nervous?
I'm just gonna state right now that I'm really nervous.
I'm gonna lock you in, okay?
Okay.
There's no turning back after this.
A strength that I have, I would say, is I'm very chill when it comes to the paranormal, but at the same time, I'm extremely jumpy. I get situationally freaked out.
I'm actually gonna be praying for you in the car, I'm not gonna lie.
Well, thanks. That's just a terrifying thing to hear. I'm praying for you, man.
You're gonna be alright.
Okay, lock me in, boys.
Alright, man.
Dang, that's a heavy door.
When I investigate, I just go with it. You know, I don't ever have a set plan. Just show up, get the equipment out, and usually you can feel the areas where there is a presence or where there is energy. I use all the tools and I try experiments, but I really like just being silent. And to me, that's when you get some of the most compelling stuff, is when you just sit and listen to these buildings because they have stories to tell. So Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary, I was there earlier this year with my dad, Jeff. It's actually the biggest video we put out this year, the most viewed. And so it's crazy that before we even filmed that video, I had filmed a video alone there overnight. Now,
actually, I want to check real quick. I want to see if maybe we've already reacted to that one, or if that was before we started reacting. Double check. What's it called again? Helps if I spell it right. Missouri State and Nevada. Those were October and November. Files. How far back do we go with files? We go back to July. Or if it was earlier this year, then I might have seen it in passing on my own before the reactions, but it would appear that I may not have actually recorded that one. So knock on wood with any luck. This should be an interesting next run for him. By the way, thank you while we're having this quick break. Thank you for the 300 plus viewers for the last couple of Paranormal Files videos. I'm actually kind of happy that I've been able to get through them in one sitting. Because usually, for whatever reason, it's not their fault. It's me. Like, sometimes physically, just sitting down watching media for a long enough period of time, I start to get kind of dozy. Thankfully, for whatever reason, have been pretty good so far. And we're doing this on a very gloomy, but still early afternoon time slot. So it's actually kind of perfect with the gloominess outside to be sitting here doing a ghost video. But also at the same time doing it while I'm at least on the point of where I'm kind of building up, where I'm starting to kind of get more energy for the rest of the day. So this should be really good. Yeah, it's only a 2-hour one. We should be able to get through this fine. Let's go.
Now, Brushy terrifies me. That place has some of the worst energy, I think, out of any location that we've filmed at in the United States. And you hear this from so many investigators, that there's nothing good at Brushy. Some places, oh, there's a bad guy that hangs out in the basement, but upstairs the spirits aren't bad, or this guy's angry, he's in the attic. No, Brushy's like every single place in there is bad, bad, bad. That's because it was so brutal. So for this video, I was actually flown out to Brushy Mountain by Omar Gosh. Omar's a really good friend of mine. This was for his series Alone, where he had a bunch of YouTubers spend the night alone.
So it's
in these
for another
buildings.
channel that
And
they have
unfortunately, I
people
got
like you
chosen
come
to
and
spend
do
the night at Brushy
their own
Mountain.
solo stuff.
Now,
I think
yeah,
I think
I would definitely go back and undo
Ryan
that
might have
choice
done
because of how
something
spooky
similar
this
for
was.
the
But since
Salad
Omar's
House.
video didn't have as much history, I'm going to include some historical tour clips from our first trip to Brushy Mountain. So, yeah, I guess let's just cut to the footage of us getting there that night and get ready because this is about to get f***ing scary.
I'm Jamie Brock,
I'm Tammy Overton.
and we do the paranormal tours here at Brushy. It was built in 1896.
Okay, I think I do remember
it
this.
Shut down in
Poor little pup.
2009. I'm out of the family that originally owned this property here, so we signed it over in 1894. They built the prison, like I said, in 1896. They brought these young men in
I
here.
feel
They
that
wanted
even
the
though
coal.
they could probably speed run through
So
this,
they brought them
at the
in
same time,
and started mining the coal immediately.
It's kind of scanning through
We
quick.
are
It's
known
good to
as
brush
the
up
end
on
of the
it again
line.
on
We
your
had
way,
the worst of the
at least
worst
a little
here,
bit.
not just from Tennessee, from all over. We kind of got that name, though, later in years. Early on, what we're finding with the men that was brought in here, they were young. 17 to 24 is mainly the age that they were brought in here. They were put in these coal mines. They had a quota to get every day. If they didn't get that day's quota, they were whipped. A lot of them were beat to death. If they didn't mind or wasn't mining hard enough, fast enough, they would even strap them to the mules there and rake their backs down the tops of the coal mines. So a lot of disease went through here. A lot of these young men with, did you hear that?
Yeah, what was that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
God, I don't know. That was pretty loud.
And we're the only
someone's
ones here, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we're the only
For
ones.
people online.
Someone's listening, but a lot of these young men with
Oh yeah. Yep.
a lot
remember
of
that
these
one.
young men with what was I saying?
The disease.
Yeah, there was a lot of disease. A lot of them were beat to death. Their crimes early on were they weren't hardcore criminals. These men were brought in here for things like lying, drinking, dancing. You know, I mean, it was a
Seriously?
Footloose movie. You think that stuff,
Fucking
you see it
dancing?
on the movies and think it's kind of comical, but
All you out
it was a
there, you're
real
all
deal.
criminals.
And with things like that happening, they lost their lives here. They were made to, like I said, mine the coal. They quarried the rock.
Gotta lock me up.
That was a cough.
Is that?
That was a cough.
What was it?
A cough.
I heard like
I heard a metallic.
a like a motorized type thing.
Did you not hear the cough after that?
Hello?
These two own this place, and you can tell they're kind of startled.
Came through there, and that one came over there.
That's the reason why I thought it was a separate sound that sounded kind of like a cough. Which it could have been because you were just talking about the disease and stuff.
That was so crazy.
No, it's weird. The last time I was here, I heard some, I almost remember exactly like that over there.
It's the woman or something.
A woman's voice.
Yeah.
The last time.
Yes, yes.
We were talking about this same crowd.
Yeah, when I was here like a couple months ago.
That's
I even
so
asked
crazy.
who was the other lady that was here. You could hear that so loud behind you all
Mm.
that I was like, "Who's up here?" And they were like, "Nobody else is here."
But you heard a cough too.
Yeah, I heard a call.
Yeah, I heard something after. I did hear something, but I wasn't.
Wow.
That's so crazy. Like I said, mind the coal. They quarried the rock.
That was a cough.
Like I said, mind the coal. They quarried the rock.
That was a cough.
Like I said, mind the coal. They quarried the rock.
Oh, hear that?
That second bell squeak you can definitely hear very
these
loudly.
men lost their lives.
Don't know about
right
any
here.
cough, but that squeak,
They
holy
built this
smokes.
prison. They did build it in the shape of a cross, but it's an upside down cross to send a message that they're unworthy. We've got over 2,000 men buried here on our property, and what we found in our cemetery, they've even
this place is
buried the men
wild.
backwards. Christians face their dead to the east, and they've buried all of our men to the west. There's one that I found, his death certificate, his crime was assassin a white man, and he's buried here. Now, the state of Tennessee claims that they gave the families the opportunity to claim these men's bodies. The ones that are here are the ones that was never claimed. What I'm finding on their death certificates, a lot of them were buried within 1 to 3 hours of their death.
Really?
So a lot of them were
some come
being
back
put in the
during-
ground warm, you know?
Yeah, we've had some people come back during the daytime tours and, you know, have like grandparents that were here, grandfathers. They weren't never told. They come back looking for
Yeah,
their family.
trying to find their loved ones. So,
And what we were saying too last time, you were telling me you guys think that there might be more
yes.
bodies here,
Oh,
but it's
easily,
not
probably.
proven.
So recently, there are 3 graves back here behind the wall.
Anything that they did
and
that was
so we went
untoward
back,
that they could get blamed for,
I
they
guess
just
it
buried
was,
them
what,
somewhere
maybe
else
a
without
month ago, me and
markers,
my
of course.
husband went back and we found
And why
where
do you
those
think
were.
these
An
earth
inmate
here
had
is
come
so
in
scattered and
his
messed
job
up?
was taking care of those graves.
And why do you think the rest,
what we
the
found
rest of
when
the
we went
spirits
back
still
there,
play? And why the energy
I don't
is so
think there's
intense?
just 3 graves. The state claims there's 6 men buried here, and that's it. So anyone that is from this community knows that's hogwash.
Absolute
And we've got
lie.
the cemetery to prove it. And so you can go in, you can see all the graves in our cemetery. There are,
kinda
when we
curious,
went
is,
back there to the what we thought was 3 graves.
I will say, because this is a lot of repeat, and I have heard some of this before, although there's still some interesting evidence like we've just seen. I'm thinking that depending upon how far it goes and how long it winds on for, we might eventually skip ahead at least a little bit. Like skip a little bit of a section here or there. But I still feel it's worthwhile for the historical lesson and also to get most of it again for the channel, since this is the first time we're reacting to this particular prison visit. I'll still label this as number 3 because this is the 3rd time he's come to this place. All right. Anyways, just figured I'd warn you ahead of time and then continue on.
We found 6. So I think that's where the state's getting, there's only 6 men buried here. But
Maybe they started a graveyard there, or that could be out of the family that was
Yeah.
here. We're not
yeah.
really sure about that.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, like I can't find
So sounds
one
like
of
a
my
bunch of
great-great-grandfather's
people in
graves. We
politics
can't find. So
smoking
we think
hashish.
maybe he's even buried here. We also think that there's Native Americans buried here. We know that there's a chief buried to the highest point of this mountain here. This used to be Native American land. There's even a sundial here on the mountain. We've got underground water here. There's an underground lake. So the water, we supply water to 3 counties from this place. It's unreal how much water we have here. So they think this could have been sacred land to the natives. So we do get a lot of
ownership
stuff
of this land is
from
actually a
the
pretty
Native
good thing. You
American
got
side
literally
of it
a
also.
underground lake that keeps
Yeah.
you filling.
Things like that.
And probably from a spring somewhere, and
Tends
it's
to happen
clean
in
water.
places that have the same
Make
kind
a
of
small fortune
activity.
holding that land and the
So we've
comfort
got
of
like
having
over
to buy up that
2,000 buried
water
here.
for
There's over 10,000
supplies.
documented deaths here from
The county
illness.
counties nearby,
you know,
etc.
we had over 250,000 men that went in here. So, you know, it sounds like a lot of deaths, but when you look how many come through.
Yeah, I gotta have you stop for 1 second. 10,000
Yeah.
deaths in this complex.
That's what they're, yeah.
Like murders, suicides, natural causes, prison violence, like guards beating
usual.
inmates to death.
Yes, all of it.
Indeed.
There was one doctor that came in and found that 95% of the black men here at one time had syphilis and wasn't being treated. So, I mean, there was just a huge amount of illness. There was a TB outbreak that went through. They came in, the production of our coal fell off. They wanted to know why. Well, when they came in here, they found that 75% of the men inside this prison was crippled from being whipped so bad. Yeah, and what they did then was just brought some men out of jails, put them in those coal mines. And
Are there coal mines right around here?
there's about 7 of them that goes around the bend here. They didn't care. They just wanted these men in here, and they wanted that coal. This was the richest coal that had been found in the world. Now, if it's been more than that since then, or if others have been found since then, but at the time, it was the richest coal found. It was very clean burning. It's still one of the largest seams of coal that runs between here and Kentucky, except they can't mine that now because the 4,000 acres that went with this is now a state park.
And you were talking about how they sent a group of the prisoners sent out somebody's head on a coal.
They did, out of the
What
coal
was that
mine.
story?
They were having to be made to be mined, the coal and stuff like that, and they were mean to them. So I guess a group of them had got together and cut one of the guards' head off and sent it back.
The body, they held, I
Held
think
the
they were
body
holding the body
hostage.
hostage, yeah.
And sent his head out.
On a
Yeah,
cart.
Yes, yes.
Held the decapitated body hostage? Okay, all right.
Yeah.
What's the threat?
I don't know.
I do believe the threat is
I
go
don't
fuck
know,
yourself.
But, I don't
Keep
know.
it
I
up.
guess the family just wanted it. I don't know.
yeah.
There was also just outside the wall here, there's a coal mine. Literally, like when you're standing at it, you can look down into the yard here. But there was a cave in there, and there was 17 men in that, and 4 mules, and they just left them and made a new entrance. So
So their bodies are still right there.
Oh, yeah. They
Yeah.
left them mostly because they were black men.
yeah.
Wow.
But you know, there was
Fucked.
a lot of beheadings here, and it was a lot during that time that the syphilis was going through here real bad. So I guess they were just crazy and killing one another.
And what do you mean by beheadings?
Like they would just chop each other's heads off. I mean, it was crazy how many heads were lost
Dang.
around here.
They
Well, one of our family members, as a matter of fact,
That
while
can
they
be
were
only
building
one or
this wall,
two.
it was an uncle. Now he
Chop.
was hardcore. He shot a lot of them. You know, he was mean. He made a mistake by shooting. There was 2 brothers, and he shot and killed one of the brothers. So the other brother gets on the work crew, and they're building the wall. And while that takes place, he takes his shovel, and he beheads him with his shovel. He's actually the only guard we found that is buried here in our cemetery.
And he's one of your family members.
He is. He was an uncle. Yeah.
When
Wow.
the family signed, when the prison was leased over, that was part of the deal with the lease. They got $20 and a hog rifle for this place and the
Yes.
agreement that family could always work here. So that was the reason for a lot of the
Why people stuck
just
around.
whatever they
At least
done
it was
whatever
easy
because there
work.
was no repercussions.
Easy
The prisoners couldn't tell because it was always family in here.
Yeah.
And back then, a lot of the guards were really cruel and probably deserved to be in here more than a lot of the
There
inmates
wasn't
at
no
the time.
probably about that. I wholeheartedly
nicely.
believe that. Now, this over here, too, is where they would have been whipped. This is a replica of
Can we
the...
walk over
Yeah,
there?
go ahead. Yeah.
So they would have been whipped in the middle of the prison yard.
Yes, this is where it would have been. Yeah.
Everybody would have seen them be strapped to it, and they would have lashed them with a leather whip.
To send a message, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what, a lot of prisoners have died from being whipped?
Yes. Even I just spoke of my grandmother too. They still lived on the property, and she still remembers hearing them being whipped. And she says, you know, they would whip them, and it would be no time that you would see them taking one to the graveyard, you know. So
Wow.
it was a well-known fact. And, you know, I heard these stories my whole life, and I always thought, man, they should write a book because they were just really, Hollywood can't make this stuff up. But when I got in here, I really thought they were over-exaggerating. But when I got in here and I started going through ledgers and finding things for myself, it was, you know, they sugar-coated a lot of it. And here's the...
That stuff being documented, and you find the death certs, and the reasons for their deaths were description of being beaten and just the cruelty and stuff.
Yeah.
They really were sugarcoating it back then. You know, you thought it couldn't be that bad, but it was worse than what you thought.
Bad. There was a little man that came in here. He was in his 90s, and he was here. He mined the coal, but he was asking what happened to the water pools outside of the hole. And I said, well, there was never any water pools there. He said, yes, there was. He said they used to stand us in them up to our chin. And he said they would freeze us out like that. Wow. We'd have to stand there in the bitter cold in that water. So I guess they've covered them. But we're told there was a ditch that was dug back here in the back field. And one of the guards brought in this, like a motor from a pump, and they hooked it to a bicycle. And so then they would put the men down in this trench, and they would flood the trench, and they had to pedal the bicycle to pump the water out, or they drowned. The water would go over their heads, yeah.
So the guards were just as bad as the prisoners here, if not worse.
Worse, yeah.
It was like lawless, really.
And like she said, I mean, it was written, I've got the lease agreement at my house, but it was written that our family could always work here, no questions asked. So if they told anyone, you know, it was the uncle or a cousin or whatever. So it ended up being worse on them if they told it.
Well, you guys want to take us through some of the buildings?
We can.
Tell us some stories? That noise was crazy.
That is insane.
Whatever
I
that
don't even
was.
know what that could have been.
Both of them were very loud.
This would have been considered A side. They would have kept more of like the sick over here back when like she said, you know, the disease and stuff was really in effect. They would have kept the sick over on this side.
Almost like a hospital kind of.
Yeah. Because even the guards was getting the TB, is what we were told. And that was part of the plan. So when you see these cells compared to Ohio, these are big cells. But now what you got to remember, we hot bunk this. So every 12 hours they shift changed. So there would have been 6 bunks in these cells. So on both sides, yeah.
We've actually found a picture of a man sitting in the bottom bunk, and there's 2 bunks ahead of him. And then you can see the other 3 bunks on the other side. That's been recently this year we found a picture of
Wow.
that. Yeah. So James R. Ray's last cell. So this is where he was at, or his last one.
Did he die here?
He did not, but he spent many years here, and we get things that come through that claim to be him, so I don't know. Now this is an active area though. The inmates that used to be housed here claim that they see a period dressed man that walks like an old coal miner that walks this walk. We've had some work, we had a worker quit on us who's seen him. And we catch some pretty good stuff down this walk here.
I've personally been standing outside, and you can actually see it looks like a light inside when nobody's in here.
Coming from in here.
Yeah.
Kind of like somebody's walking with a light or something, like up higher.
That you see from the outside.
So what about deaths in this block? Any interesting murders or deaths?
There was one that I kind of feel sorry for. He was on the top up here, but he wasn't right. I don't know if he had the syphilis or what, but he was a black man. And they had told him if he could jump out and hit one of these windows, he could slide out to why am I laughing? That's not funny, but he could slide out and to freedom. And of course, he missed the window and fell to his death here.
So prisoners told him that, or guards?
Yes, it was the inmates. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I guess they probably thought he wouldn't do it. I don't know. But see, used to, that caging wasn't there. And so when it shut down in the 70s, that was kind of one of the things that the guards demanded, for that to be put up for their safety. So a lot of them were shoved over to their deaths, the inmates, not the guards, but so a lot died that way here.
Wow.
It was like hooch or, drugs or homemade alcohol, all that stuff.
Oh, there was a lot of that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then they get wacky from that.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's probably deaths due to
Well,
that.
actually, there was 3 that died, wasn't
What's
it?
it
From
called?
it was the julep, and it poisoned them. So
Like
3 of them.
methanol or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
We actually have we know a man that was housed here that made julep, which is jailhouse alcohol. He actually tells the story of a buddy of his would drink it and have the cornmeal around his lip. It was just so bitter and strong, but the cornmeal would be around his lip, and he would, I guess, lay down and think he was in another world. It would hit you so hard. So.
I need some of that.
Right.
Sounds like a hell of a drink. Is that stuff like about 90 proof?
Now this to
Dang.
me is where this place starts to get spooky.
So the cafeteria. A lot of them died in here. This is where we had one that was whacked up.
Yeah.
You want to tell that one?
He was actually cooking in the kitchen, and they chopped him up. They were cooking chicken that day, and they chopped him up and literally almost just cut his arm off. The guard tells it he wallered him, and I guess he was trying to help him, even though they knew he was gone, but he was covered in blood from head to toe. So
Just getting murdered by
Yeah.
other inmates.
Yeah.
but they went
getting
on with
absolutely
eating.
bodied.
They ate their chicken that day.
Wow.
So you just imagine they were so used to seeing that stuff,
Yeah.
it didn't bother them.
Well, actually, we tell about a guy over here, James Slagle. He was actually the longest incarcerated man in Tennessee. He stopped to help a guy who had a flat tire, and he had done some acid, and he had a bad trip and ended up killing him, and he got put in here. But he was telling me about one that was here. They were sitting here eating, and he said, this man comes up from behind and cuts this dude's throat, and he's bleeding across the table, and the man just picks his tray up and moves it, and he says, "Do you mind?" He said, "You're messing up my food." And Slagle says, he said, that bothered me. He said that was the last thing that man heard. And he said it was several days later that I realized, he said, it didn't bother me that they killed him. It bothered me what he heard. And he said, that's when I realized I was no better than the man that killed him. And so he decided then that he would change his ways. He actually went to college and got a degree, but he also packed himself in a box and shipped himself out here.
That's what he's most famous for. Is
Really?
actually he done yoga and packed himself in a box and he escaped technically.
Except that he had luck like mine. He escaped, and when he jumped out of the truck, there was an off-duty police or guard,
off-duty
and
guard.
Rabbit hunting, and seen him jump.
Stroke of bad luck.
Honestly, you got that far.
Yeah, yeah, he did. But yeah, this in here, you get a lot of shadow figures, apparitions. They formed in front of us in here. We've got one that is caught on video, and all you see is an arm. We found that interesting because one guy had his arm pretty much whacked off.
And it is kind of in the area, maybe.
Things get thrown.
You hear a lot of working in the back. Sometimes I've heard silverware ting on the floor.
Weird.
Yeah.
Makes
it's
sense,
super
though.
strange, yeah.
But so a lot of people would get murdered in here
Yeah.
just because it was a common area.
Yes.
Yeah. Everybody was together in a small area, and they may have access to whatever kind of knives and things that they would have used. And they were all sitting, and if, you know, somebody had beef with somebody, they would just get up and go stab them and sit back down.
Any idea how many people died here?
I don't.
Not
I
in
don't.
here.
I don't even think, we've asked the guards that, and the guards haven't even really been able to put a number on that. So,
Too many.
It was pretty regular, though. This and the auditorium, when they were having the auditorium where the prisoners watched movies, they were the two areas.
And this is a hot spot.
it is, yeah.
Yeah. They've caught a big shadow figure in that little room back there where the window is. And it's super, super big, so.
But you can see how that was added. So that would have used to been part of
Yeah.
this. So that was added later on.
Yeah, this room is creepy because just, I don't know, there's something about it.
Yeah, it is a creepy little place.
Well, yeah, in the kitchen, and actually in the main back of the kitchen, back years ago when they were burying the dead, they were putting them in standard size caskets, 6 foot. So if the men were over 6 foot, they would chop the bottoms of their legs off to fit them in the casket. Why, we don't know, but that was done in the back of the kitchen.
Got my own theory on that. though.
Yes.
So, you know, old timers were very superstitious. And so I think they were so mean to these men. That's a reason they gave everyone. But I think they cut the bottoms of their legs off so they couldn't rise from the dead and come for them. That's just my theory.
Hoping that they couldn't
I
get
really
chased
do.
as
That
quickly.
makes
You know,
sense.
because they used to dig people up and put, or they would stab them through the chest or something if they thought they, you know, they used to think people could come back as vampires and all kinds of stuff.
Well, that's what the graveyard shift term come from, was somebody would always sit up and listen for a bell that was tied to the toe in case somebody was buried alive.
Now that would be creepy to be on the graveyard shift in here.
Yeah.
Ding, ding, ding.
So now this walk here, we get quite a bit of activity from it, but now this house where our parents were kept.
Oh.
So a lot of them would have been killed just because of their crimes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so.
This would have been.
If the others got near them, yeah.
So the more violent would have been kept on the east side.
And the past were actually specifically always here.
Yeah, they would have been kept locked up 24/7 so that they would have even been fed inside their, cells. So we tell about the hostage shooting that happened down below us. We tell it there, but it actually happened right here. So this is where that happened at. Now this, to me, is hands down, one of the most active places in the whole place. Right here and this area here.
Yeah, the whole third floor.
Yeah. So what
Poor little
happened,
tiny
they
dog
called
eating lunch
themselves
from
the
arm to arm.
Magnificent Seven. They
Can't
sought
get
out of
cooked
their
room for
cells,
5 minutes.
came over here, took 3 guards hostage, and went down through here shooting. So they went down shooting all these black men. Now the second cell down there, no one died in it because there was white men in that cell. This is a really active area. I don't know if you all have seen, Omar has a video of a cigarette being smoked. Have you seen that? So if you go down through there, you'll see all the cigarettes, but that's where that happens.
Just there's a door like here.
Oh, that's the creepy area.
Is it?
Yes, that's the.
Oh,
That's the possession area.
There it goes
Actually
again.
came up here one night. She was sick, and I had to do a tour by myself for her, so I had my husband come up and help. And from the gate on up, it just fell off that night. And when we came up to walk up after the tour was over with, he was shining his light down that hall.
Yeah.
And the minute he shined it, I seen him kind of look, and I was facing the wall trying to lock the door. And all of a sudden, he starts squealing like a girl and backing up. And when I turned my head to look, all I seen was a really dark shadow, not like the typical shadow figures that I see
I just
here.
felt the
This
chills
was
go down
super
my
dark.
arms.
I just turned my head because I know about this area.
Yeah.
I don't fool with it. So I'm locking the door and he's screaming, backing up, and I'm trying to tell him to shut the door. And he said that it was so big it just completely blocked out over half of his flashlight. I thought he was going to fall down the stairs.
Wow.
If you're sick, stressed, poking that bear, whatever, you know. But he came up and it got him. He was also one of those, he'd seen a lot of things up here, but he always made an excuse. And he was
After
like,
that
"Unless
night,
it's
he
in
ain't
my
got no more
face,
excuses.
you know, I'm not going to be a full believer." Well, he's a believer now. So.
Damn right.
So, what were you hearing just now?
We don't know. It's just a. It's a popping.
So, with the Magnificent Seven, so it was a group of prisoners that killed the guards.
No, they killed the inmates.
Oh, they killed.
The black inmates.
And they just
Yes.
went down each of these cells right here,
Yes.
shooting
Yes.
right into the
Second
cell.
Yeah.
Had white men in it.
So they had a gun. They had smuggled a gun in here. And the funny thing is, their gun was hidden actually outside this area in another part. And it was always rumored that the blacks also had a gun.
It was a 38 was what was rumored to have had.
Yes.
And they always try to deny that. But later on, a few winters back,
Yes.
Man.
Well, actually, not last winter, but the winter before.
Yeah.
I was up here snooping, and we opened up one of these pipes that's actually in the hospital area, just right through that door. And we found 10 38 special bullets individually wrapped and tucked down into that pipe. So, had they got to their gun,
It would have been a
it would have been
shootout.
totally different story, because the whites only had a 20, is it a 25? It was a little gun, and they had this 38. So we've not found the gun, but we have found the bullets. So they
Proof it was
definitely
there.
had it.
And so it was
Somewhere.
each of these cells someone died in, like right here.
The first cell and the second or third cell, those men died, and by the time they got to the rest of them, the inmates had their mattresses up in front of them to shield them.
Smart.
So, yeah, I think there was another one that got hit by a bullet, but no one else died. Just in this cell in the third.
So what about the paranormal activity right here?
Oh, it's off the charts when you get it going. I actually think the one that smokes the cigarette right here, there was one that was in the auditorium. He had a gay lover here for 15 years. He started seeing another man, and the word got out. They were watching a film, and this guy comes up from behind and cuts his throat. He actually runs out to this area here, and he asks for a cigarette. A guard gives him a cigarette, and he actually dies smoking the cigarette. So I think it's him. His name's Johnny Baxter. And usually when you call his name and start getting activity, it's just crazy how much activity you'll get from him.
Yeah, it spikes like
Yeah.
instantly.
So Johnny.
Johnny, yep. Yeah, and the other ones that died, there was two, their names was James, and I've actually got a pretty cool recording. I was telling a group of women from Florida that both the black men that died in the shooting was named James, and you hear a man come through and he says, "I was one of those." So, yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
So
This area here, although it's marked auditorium, it was turned into an auditorium, but originally this would have been all hospital. So this whole floor was hospital.
and
This is the infirmary.
Yeah.
and this is what you would say is the scariest part.
This is where
I'm
we get
thinking we're
true
gonna
negativity.
cut ahead here because this is more like little
You
individual
know,
stories.
I can't believe the
Oh,
amount
actually, no,
of
there's one more really
murders
good
and
one over here.
stabbings, just suffering that took place in that.
This one's a
huge
really good one
place.
too.
And it's just amazing the amount of death there.
And then after that, I think
Yeah,
we're good
with
to move on.
everything from the
There's one more
killings
really
in the
good story for
cafeteria
them
to the
to
brutal
follow up on
murders
because
of
that also
prisoners by the guards
had
who
some
are just
follow-ups in
nasty
the previous
people.
episodes, so it might also
All
have a
the
follow-up here.
injustices being put in there for things like, swearing. I mean, it's like amazing the amount of human suffering that went there and the carnage. Amazing that happened.
Over petty grievances.
Really, in the U.S. But yeah, it's amazing the amount, of just bad things that happen there.
So, yeah, this is where they would have showed like the movies here, and there would have been seating out here. Then later on, they built these rooms, and they would have done like counseling and stuff like that during that time. But we really get a lot from this behind you, right here, this area. That's where that creeper likes to stay, is right there.
So who's the creeper?
I don't know.
Why do you call him a creeper?
Because he's always on his belly.
Really?
Yes, yeah, yes.
Are they creeping around?
And that's why, yeah, he does go up the wall. Yeah, he's creepy, yeah, I don't know. And that's why I never thought there was any good out of that one.
No, the feeling you get from it is just complete. You almost feel like you're panicking, or I did the night that my husband ran into it. It's just you just know it's negative.
And so this is where the possession
So
happened.
negative, you just feel it.
Me and this
in the air
friend was
around
up
this
here,
thing.
and he was over here sitting on this step. And I was over here on these
In the
steps.
previous episodes
We
that they had
had
here, including the one
literally
this is
been
from,
here
they had some pretty
long enough
wild
for
reactions
him to
over
play a song.
devices.
Don't ask me what song it was, because I have no idea what the name of that song is. I just know it was a really creepy song. It's really creepy, and for some reason it triggered activity. But he plays the song, and I can't tell you even if it played from start to finish or if he stopped it. But when the music stopped, I said, are you going to ask some questions? But I was hearing this funny noise, and I honestly thought at first that he had fallen asleep. And so I turned my light on and shine it over, and he's sitting there in total darkness, staring right at me and making that weird noise. And I said, what are you doing? And at first I thought, well, he's just trying to trick us, because we had someone with us that had never had an experience, and I thought he's trying to freak them out. But it was kind of odd, because he's never been like that. Like, he's very serious, he doesn't joke about it, and it was just out of character. And so I couldn't get activity out of this area. This creeper does not like me, but I've always called BS on it. So I said, well, if you're not going to ask questions, we'll go to another location where I can get some activity. And I walk over, and I grab him by the arm and stand him up, and he takes one step, and he goes out, just falls out. He's laying there, and I thought, he's knocked himself out. So I go to pick him up, and he just feels funny to me, which I'm a first responder. I'm with the fire department. And I thought, so I felt for a pulse, and I couldn't find a pulse on him. And so I asked the other guy with us to help me pick him up and carry him out. And when we get him outside to the hallway, he starts coming back around, breathing. And now looking back, if you've ever been around someone that's dying, the death rattle, that's what it sounded like, the death rattle. And his eyes were rolled back in the back of his head. All you saw was the whites of his eyes. I've looked back on it. I don't know. I've never witnessed anything like that, but I've thought it through time and time again. And if you just try to cross your eyes, you can only do that for a couple seconds. It starts hurting. You can't do that. His eyes was rolled back in his head for over 45 minutes. They never came back. When he would talk, he would sound kind of just demon-like. I mean, it was the craziest thing. We finally got him downstairs, and that's when, everything went south. So I get him downstairs, and I had actually walked off. I left him up here because we couldn't get him to cooperate. So I walk out of the prison. I don't tell anyone what I'm doing. And when I did, I had actually walked away to call the police. I had asked for them to come up to assist me, and I didn't know what else to do. And so while I was gone, he looked at the other guy helping me here, and he said, tell that bitch to get off the phone. Now, I didn't tell anyone what I was doing, but he knew. And, and he was being real foul. Everything was just foul coming out of his mouth. But we got downstairs, and the police arrived, and that's when, they pulled a taser. They were going to tase him. They didn't know what else to do. Long story short, when we got them finally out of this prison, they started coming back to themselves, and they didn't even recall what had happened. To this day, they don't recall. The next morning when they woke up, they were covered from head to toe in bruises. I don't want to ever see that again. That's all I know.
So they got possessed in this room.
Yeah, if I've ever, I don't know what else it could have been. That's only thing. They were totally different. And we weren't in here. How long does a song play? Maybe 3 minutes? That's how long we were in here. We sat down, they played the song, and it happened.
Song
that
just
quick.
gone.
We've been in here for, 10 years, and nothing had happened. We had got things like foul odors, just uneasy feelings. We had caught it on video. We had been talked down to on audio. She's getting antsy. But
I wouldn't stay much longer. She wanted out of there. Poor pupper.
But nothing had ever really happened until that night, and it came without warning. There was no warning
It
whatsoever.
had no time or to move.
So this
for
would
it.
be a place in the prison where there's some sort of unexplainable evil.
Yeah.
Any idea what?
No. No.
It's a mystery.
But you think about it, this is built in the shape of an upside down cross. You literally drive up to the top of the cross. They did it on purpose to send a message to the men they were unworthy. But still, what does that invite in? But then you have to think about all the people that have been in here in all walks of life. It doesn't matter what their religion was, they were allowed to practice it. So you had people in here that was Satanists, you had witchcraft, you had Muslims and Christians, and then you combine it all in one area. You know what? Who knows? It's like a melting pot. Yeah.
Tragedy that happened during, and then it sat open for a few years, being watched, but loosely watched. So people would have broke in. You don't know what they done during that time.
Oh no, we found all kinds of stuff. Ouija boards, pythons. They even brought snakes in here.
Really?
Yeah, it was crazy the stuff they were doing in here. I don't know what it is. I really don't.
You ever find any sacrifice stuff in here?
I'm gonna tell you, y'all think I'm crazy, but it was this past spring. We started finding mutilated animals here.
What?
No, I'm not even kidding. They were cut. It didn't even look like they'd used surgical instruments. It was crystal clear. No blood. There was never blood. Heads were missing. They would take out the innards, like there would be a heart gone or lungs gone, and
they were super clean. They didn't have grass all over them, mud all over them, anything like that. They looked perfectly preserved.
Did you just hear singing?
Oh.
I heard.
This way.
It almost sounded like a kid humming a nursery rhyme or something. Yeah, it was.
Yeah. I kind of thought maybe it was. I didn't know if he was doing something on his phone or something.
No.
I thought I was hearing.
A lot of movement in this room. But where are you finding these animals?
They were on our lawn.
What?
Yes, I swear. On the lawn, yes.
Now that is strange. What the hell?
I wouldn't have believed it. I hate telling people about it because if someone told me about it, I wouldn't have believed it. But
at the time, none of us thought to take a picture because we were so freaked out. But we really wish we had have now taken a picture just for the proof. But 4 or 5 different people witnessed that. So
yeah.
Well, maybe you'll get another one soon.
Yeah, and it's so bizarre because it just quit. We were literally finding them every week for weeks, and then it just stopped. I don't know. So, but yeah, so this is a nice little area to get stuff out of. Now, y'all want to walk into the hospital?
Sure.
So these are the
This is
actual
where we'll
rooms that are
move
left.
on
You
here.
that long.
I know.
They usually suck the
That was the big
batteries
one.
out of
That
it.
some of that
Okay,
stuff
and my
there.
hands are not cold anymore because they're completely numb and they feel okay.
There you go.
So that night, I decided to start in a cell block. It seems like the least, I should say, intimidating place in the prison to start because it's kind of like safer feeling. But immediately I was gonna capture on camera the fact that somebody was there and waiting to talk. So, yeah, just check this out. This is where it starts to get f***ed. All right, I'm not gonna lie. This is probably the most freaked out I've been. One of the most, I can't even think right now, about as scared as I've ever been based on the stories.
I mean,
being
he's
alone,
been here a
this
couple
place being
times,
so big.
so this
I
is
don't know
round
what to
3, and
expect.
it's completely
People
solo.
online don't understand like how extreme this is right now. Like, it's pitch black, and it's just me. Here we go. Here I am. It's a little too late to turn back now. God.
Feels like it never moved.
Here we go. I'm already getting bad juju, bad vibes in here, but let's see if we can talk to anybody. All right. To anybody in here? My name is Collin Browen. I know a lot of you guys who died here, you didn't deserve to die how you did. And I'm opening myself up. If there are good spirits, bad spirits, it doesn't matter. If you died here or you still live here, I just want to talk to you and hear your story. That dude, somebody literally just walked in. Thank you. That means somebody just straight up walked into the door. It's standing there in the doorway. Being alone was way more intense than I even anticipated it would be. Thank you. Come on over. Can you knock on something? All you have to do to show me that you're here is go and do that. Come out of these cells and walk up to one of these lights. Maybe you're further down here. So I'm starting down here and trying to mentally work my way up because it definitely feels way darker with every story that you go up to.
They built this prison in the shape of a cross, but it's an upside down cross. So that was done on purpose to send a message that these men were unworthy.
Just heard something. Are you upstairs? On the first floor, I was definitely already nervous, but nothing really happened except for the proximity meter went off, which showed that somebody or something entered the room.
Somebody was watching
but it
from a
was just
distance.
standing there. I think I'm gonna move up to another floor. Unfortunately, even though I got all this stuff set up, it's really quiet. So I'm gonna pack up and go up to the second floor. This is your last chance if you're down here. Oh, it just went off right next to me. Weird, because I was moving around.
It
this
went
whole
off
time,
behind
that
you
didn't
earlier,
go
but
off.
it could have been you passed
So
by
after
it
the
too.
cell block, I wanted to go to the cafeteria, which is in that same building. The cafeteria was filled with so much violence, people getting their heads almost cut off, limbs severed, stabbings. even stories of possible cannibals in the building. I mean, this cafeteria space was brutal. And when you're in there alone, it's just a big pitch black room. And the only light that you have is from your camera. So if I'm looking this way with my camera, I can see that. But 360 behind me is pitch black. And I'm a jumpy little scaredy cat. So being in there alone was definitely a lot. And this is when somebody started to make contact with me. All right, so I'm here in the cafeteria now. Definitely feeling a little darker in here. I've got a camera right there and a camera right there. REM pod, motion sensing REM pod, touch sensors. If there's somebody here in the cafeteria, my name is Collin. I just want to talk to you tonight. I'm sorry if you died in an unfair way. But I would really like for you to come out and speak with me. I'm not a prison guard. I'm just a citizen. I've actually been to jail before. Got arrested when I was 18 for weed, but the charges all got dropped. Is there somebody here with me in the cafeteria?
Not very lucky you were forgiven on whatever it was. There must have been something extra there going on. If they didn't keep it on them.
So I have
Did I just
a
see
tool
movement?
here.
Just a second. I think
So
I
I
saw
have
some movement like back in here.
So I have
Nope, must have been just my
a tool here,
imagination or something. I saw a
and
shadow
if you
move
use
back
your
there.
voice,
It's weird.
it
Caught
should
that,
allow
caught
me
out
to
the corner of
hear
my eye or
what you
something. Might
have
have
to
been just
say, so
suspecting
you
my
can talk to me.
I was blending it with something else. Hello, stranger.
Stranger. Yes, I kind of am a stranger, and you are a stranger to me. But it's okay. You don't need to be afraid of me. I don't work with the prison. Can you tell me who you are?
Take picture.
Take a picture? I'll take some pictures. Not gonna look at them until later, though. Who's here with me? Oh, I feel cold. His? Oh, it got cold in here all of a sudden. Really cold. Oh, oh, man. Okay. What did you do that landed you in prison? Why were you arrested? Oh, my blood sugar's going low.
It happened here.
It happened here. Maybe it's someone who reoffended? A lot of times my blood sugar goes low in haunted locations. Right when I got into the cafeteria, my blood sugar went low. And it's weird that I had to eat in the cafeteria where people came here to eat. And then it said
Contact.
If you want to make contact with me, you can. Who's here?
Killer.
Oh, you're a friendly one, eh?
I've never gotten that word on there before.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard that being said on there either.
Okay.
I noticed the
telling me
chain
that
lights
there's a
went off
killer
again, but he
here?
was also very close to the camera.
With me right now? Dude, it's freezing. Oh, she's here. Oh my God, man. All of my hair is on end. Who did you kill? Oh man, it got so cold in here, man. Like, I can feel it all up and down my arms. All up and down my hand, my arms.
Worried.
You're worried? Maybe they're worried to tell me who they killed. You don't need to be worried. We're just having a conversation. And you're not going to get in any trouble to talk to me. What are you worried about? I just heard a footstep.
Which?
Mmm.
Okay. What happened?
I'm at peace.
Well, it's good that you're at peace. I'm definitely not coming here to try to disturb your peace. The back of my head is really killing me. Joyce? I literally just started to get like such a sharp pain in the back of my head. Like stabbing pain in my skull. I don't know what the hell that would be. So if she's here...
Understand.
Understand? I'm trying to understand. The devices have been pretty quiet, but Joyce, she's here, killer, witch. Seems like a woman who murdered somebody named Joyce. She's at peace though, like she was happy about what she did. Do you regret killing somebody?
Then they were apparently a practitioner of other religious beliefs.
You're apathetic? Okay, I'm officially creeped out. If you're over there, come into this room. I really hate this, man. Escape. Like a prison escape. We talked about that in the interview, about the escape. No one ever
That,
really
I think
escaped
when he
here.
touches it,
Can you let
goes
me
off
know
to-
where you are? Are you out there? Or are you down there?
Bye.
Goodbye. Started to get worse. That's when it said killer, she's here, listed off a bunch of women's names. So I don't know if that's a serial killer that targeted women. Still very quiet, like something was just waiting.
Always watching.
Yeah, this place is honestly pushing me to my limits. Being alone in such massive buildings with such dark, violent history is way scarier than I thought. I'm just gonna add in here. I actually didn't think I'd be this freaked out, but I'm like way more on edge than I like to be. And I love the paranormal, but this is pushing it a little bit too far for me where I'm like really uncomfortable. But I'm all the way here, so I gotta keep doing it. I'm gonna head down right now to solitary confinement, which, yeah, it was a horrible place. Follow me as we embark on this journey together. God.
Join me as we embark into the worst parts of the building, of the land. Totally nothing bad is going to happen here. Just only the worst place ever.
All right, so as you can see, right down here is solitary confinement. Loss of vision. So this is basically stating that within a few days of being in solitary confinement, prisoners would lose their vision. They would have to have a guide when they came out for a week till they were able to see again because they were so isolated. When Brushy opened in 1896, the hole housed disobedient and dangerous inmates for days, weeks, and even months at a time if the warden deemed it right. Inhabitants were once treated to suspension torture, tied by their thumbs to pulley cords hanging from the ceiling, toes barely touching for up to 30 minutes. This was deemed inhumane in 1905. They would hang people from their thumbs. Let's go in here. This is the solitary confinement area. As you can see, you would be in a very small cell in here. I'm gonna sit in here for a little bit. And honestly, I'm keeping the lights on while I'm in here because something just doesn't feel right. I don't really like being alone. I also just hate how there's
Give it a
like
good listening
creepy
to.
chairs and stuff everywhere. Let's see what happens.
It's a little uneasy.
All right, so I've got 2 REM pods set up in the other 2 solitary cells. I've got the jump rope, the touch light, and 4 cat balls set up outside of this cell. And I'm gonna do a spirit box in here. First of all though, I'm gonna introduce myself. My name is Collin. I'm just here to figure out what happened to you in these cells. I'm not angry, I'm not mad. I just want to know what happened in solitary confinement. Can somebody let me know if there's somebody here with me right now? All you have to do is walk into one of the cells or go touch one of the lights. Oh, no f***ing way. No f***ing way right there. Thank you.
Hello.
Can you touch another one of those lights? Can you do that again? That was so good. Can you light that up again if that was you? Touch that same ball. Oh, my hair is on end right now, dude. Like I said before, I just really want people to understand that I'm like really, really scared right now. I am not a fan of doing alone stuff, and I don't want to do this again. This is like too much for me. So if you see me getting like shaky and weird, it's because I'm like legitimately not comfortable here. If you're in here, my name's Collin. I just want to talk. You can use your voice and communicate with me. Is this dead? What the hell? You can use your voice and communicate with me.
Yeah. Just seems to be like literally no life in it. I assume you just put in
That's
the
not
batteries.
creepy at all. My spirit box is dead, and I'm in solitary confinement. Okay, I literally just said I'm freaked out. I'm like double as freaked out right now because these are fresh batteries. I can't remember the last time a spirit box has died on me, but it is already dead. All right, if you're here with me, can you tell me who you are?
Philip.
Philip! No way! No way! Okay, Philip, thank you for coming in and talking with me. Can you tell me what you did to end up down here?
Victor.
I don't know why this is so quiet.
Kill.
Kill. So I've gotten the word killer and kill tonight, and I don't ever get those words. So Philip, did you kill Victor? Is that what you're saying? Because you were ill? Did you kill Victor because you're ill? Can you touch one of those lights out there if that's true?
Hall.
Hall. I just said, did I hear something go out there? Off out there, and it said hall. Are you out here? If you're in one of those other cells, can you step out into the hall?
Albert.
Albert. I'm out in the hall.
More
Can
like
you
he
show
wants
me
to
which
just keep
cell that
naming
you're
names.
in? All you have to do is walk into the doorway.
For some reason. It's still going.
So many names. You know what's really interesting is upstairs, it was giving me a ton of women's names in a row, and it said, she's here, kill her. Then it says down here, kill, and it's been all male names.
Hmm.
I just heard something over there. Have memories? Are you over there around the corner? Can you make a sound and let me know where you are?
Most foreboding little corner.
Agitated. Are you angry that I'm in here talking to you right now? That.
The lights went out?
That light just flickered on and off in the fucking solitary wing. Hold up.
Take a breather, man. Take a breather.
I'm stepping farther away from there because that was really scary. Oh, dude, all my shit's down there, man.
Yeah, still gotta go back and get it.
Okay, if that's you down there in solitary, can you flicker that light again? Oh my god, that noise in there. The voice just gave me a heart attack. Can you do something else down there? I can't hear what it's saying, but I was like really confident, like, oh yeah, this is gonna be scary. And then I do not want to go back down there to even get my stuff. I'm not being a wimp. I'm like, something just feels really wrong about being here by myself. And like, I've done hundreds of ghost hunts, but there's something about this right now that is like piquing my anxiety. Seeing that,
I mean, it went
means
right
that
for the
it
lights.
is,
It didn't even go for a
powerful.
warning shot. And just went. I'm gonna
Call
trap
them.
you fucking
I'm gonna
down
call
here.
Omar. Okay, so
Good luck seeing the dark.
sitting here, I've decided to just go down. I'm just gonna get my stuff. I'm gonna go to a different part of this prison because if I had
Whoever's
another
down there
person
does
with
not
me,
apparently want you being
I would
there.
be totally fine with staying
Maybe
here.
going somewhere else that you get some
So I'm gonna
better
go down,
information from.
Turn off the light, grab the stuff, and just move on. Hello? I'm nervous, I'm shaking. Hello? Okay, I'm gonna come get my stuff. Please.
I hear
Just
my
let me-
back foot. Holy smokes, yeah.
Let me just grab my stuff real quick, okay?
Attacking the lights got him good.
Go fast. Hole! Again! Look at right when I stepped in here. Right when I stepped in. Hall! It's f***ing in this hallway, dude. It's f***ing in this hall. What the hell? I don't know, but I'm gonna get out of this area. I need to take a break for a second. The hell was just turned on in my pocket? Of course, I turned the camera off for a split second to sit down right there on that bench, and I fucking turned this thing off too. There was like a fucking extremely loud crashing noise from over here, like really loud, like.
Maybe the ice machine, but I doubt it.
Yeah, there's nobody over here. Hello? There's this thing in here. What the f***?
I wouldn't have made a loud crash.
Yeah, this is the bathroom right here. There's no one in there. I literally do not know what could have made that sound. I don't know if I could do the final stuff alone, man. Here's the old gymnasium.
That's not creepy at
Is there anybody
all.
here in the old gymnasium? Dead quiet in here. You hear that? Do you hear how f***ing quiet it is?
I ain't hearing your footsteps. It's that damn quiet.
Yeah, you see, there's my light over there, where I was sitting. You see how far away that was? This is the only way to get in and out of this area, is through here. And nobody is here. Honestly, did not think that this would be that freaky. And like, I'm really debating if I want to go to the really dark area, because the story that they were telling us was like ridiculously dark, where a person, like, they were like f***ing with this thing, and then all of a sudden this person like stopped breathing and didn't have a pulse. I don't know if I really am in the mood to f*** with that right now when I'm by myself. Like, maybe if the building was smaller. I like to consider myself brave. Like, don't think that this is not hard to do. I'm like, ugh, my anxiety is just through the roof right now. So after being outside, I knew that it was time to go face my fears and head to the top floor of the cell block where an infamous race riot occurred, and in the same area where a demon supposedly lives. A demon that almost killed someone in the last year or so through medical reasons. Holy fuck. Just imagine being there by yourself. This is
Of a
one of the
man who
most
needs
afraid
to
I've
keep his
ever
blood
been
sugar
in
in
my
check.
life. And yeah, this is just an experience I wouldn't want to repeat. So, yeah. that?
Thank you for the sound effect, John Carpenter. I'm sorry, it just kind of took me off for a moment. It's like, huh? Oh, now this track is full of sound effects too. Well, odd. You're calling somebody? Excuse me.
Hello?
Yo, was there just a group of animals howling outside? Dude,
There probably is. I mean, there's a lot of animals out here.
bro, I was dead silent in here, and it was like, there's like banging up here, bro. I'm like dead ass freaked out, man.
What else do you have left?
I'm just in the cell, and then I'm next to the demon area. I'll go in there for a few minutes, but like, man, I'm like freaked now.
If you need to leave, just leave. Your mental health is more important than content.
Yeah, dude.
There's footsteps up here. Oh my god, this is so scary, dude.
Well, all 5 of us are here.
Yeah, it's just us.
What the Alright, so I
Oh, wait,
came
that
up
wasn't
here
sound
to
effects?
The third
Shit.
story. This is where that hostage situation
Yeah,
took
what the
place, where
fuck
the
was
people
that?
were
I thought that was
murdered.
sound
I don't
effects.
know what the hell that sound was, but there was like screaming or howling, something echoing.
I just got
throughout
a round
the
of
prison.
chills.
Completely silent. That
Damn.
was so freaky. And then I'm hearing like footsteps and shit. As you can see, I got cameras everywhere. Right down there is the demon area, and then down here is just, these are all cells. But this is the cell where the spirit likes to smoke cigarettes. So,
Alright, pal, do you need
okay,
one?
if you're up here, I come in peace. I just want to talk. My name's Collin. I'm so sorry about what happened to you. I'm sorry about the fact that there was so much hate in these people's hearts. But I really do just want to talk.
I swear I just heard something growl again. What the fuck? Something moving the doors? Something's like moving the doors or rattling up against the bars or something. Holy shit. Calling you guys again. He is a leaf on the wind. I've seen his hand shaking with this camera.
Your call has been
Oh, for F's sake, is your phone not like getting a good signal in here? Dang. That alone would make me go, oh, fuck nah.
Your call has been
Answer the phone!
Right there. Really trying to stay not freaked out, but I'm finding it harder by the minute. And
I'm
I do have
watching
to
that
show you
camera
guys
shaking your hand, man.
that it's 2:55 right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't be
Which means
flashing
that
pictures of my
in
girl
5
right now.
minutes, it is going to be the witching hour or the devil's hour. And it just got really cold in here. So I want to ask you, whoever's up here, about the missing gun. Can I first ask you, were you murdered? If that's you, you can come walk over here and let me know that you're here somehow.
Tears.
Tears. You were murdered here. I know, that's really sad. I'm so sorry that this happened to you. If you are here with me, can you make some sort of a noise to let me know where you are in here?
Drain.
That sounded like something being pushed. Like a cell door. Oh my god, it's so cold in here. There it is again.
Heaven.
That sounds like a freaking door.
Okay. I don't think I can do this. Can you stop making that noise, please? Oh my god, there's no way it just stopped.
Carol.
Heard the metal pop again.
Kill.
Oh my god.
Not the nicest thing to
I
hear.
have no idea what that noise was. It happened twice. You could hear it moving. I'm like shaking, man. Kill. That's what happened. That's what happened here. I really can't do this much longer, man. Did you kill somebody or were you killed?
Yes, I will.
Yes, I will. No, you're not gonna kill me, if that's what you're saying. Are you saying you want to hurt me? Is that what you're saying right now?
Predict.
You want me to predict if you're gonna kill me or not?
Who's speaking?
My name is Collin. I'm speaking. I want to find out where the gun is that was supposedly in the wall. Is there a gun in the wall still here somewhere? I would go investigate whatever these noises are, but I'm honestly, like, I'm already trapped up here. I'm fucking scared.
The attic.
The attic? I don't even know if there's an attic here. Do you still want to kill me?
Locked.
Locked. I am locked in a jail cell right now. Do you feel like you're locked still? Dude, I was gonna do this Ouija board, but there's no way mentally that I can do that right now.
Draining.
Draining? Are you draining my energy?
Yeah, I would not try the Ouija alone. It's already breaking rules just to do it that way. You're in enough of a boatload of trouble up here by yourself.
It's in the wall. That's where the gun is supposed to be. In the wall. Which wall? This wall right here? This wall right here? To my left or to my right? Yo, I'm gonna tap out. This is way too freaky.
What?
There are so many noises up here. I'm like gonna have a panic attack.
So loud. Are you okay?
Yeah, come on down, Collin.
Can you come up here?
We'll go get you, bro.
Well, this is your last chance. You're not gonna scare me that easily.
He already
If
did.
you want to kill me,
Well, it's not
can
going to
come
get you to
do it
run,
right
is
now.
what you're saying. But he does want backup to get out of there.
you're not allowed to bully me. I know what happened to you was unfair.
Is that a
Elijah.
is that a set of eyes?
But I didn't do
I'm not
that
sure
to
what
you,
that is.
okay?
It looks like
I'm
eyes
just
to
trying
me.
to come here and help. But you are so negative
But it also
and
seems
dark
to just sit in there,
that
so
I
I'm
do
not
not
thinking it's just like a
wanna
light
stay
behind
here.
the metal grating or something reflective.
Okay, so we just got a phone call from Collin, and he's not doing so well. He's ready to tap out. He keeps hearing noises.
He said there were so many voices up here.
Oh, boy, I thought he said
Didn't
noises.
he say voices or did he say noises?
Maybe
I
noises.
think
Yes, yes is the answer.
Ironically enough,
There's
it's
all kinds of
actually
craziness
3 a.m.
where you've
right
heard
now.
up there.
So he said he wants to spend a little bit more time, but we're gonna meet him. That way he's not completely in the dark by himself.
Right in there.
Is that what you got?
Yeah.
Is that his light?
I don't think he ever went in the auditorium.
Wait, what?
All in all, I give Collin a lot of credit because this place is very spooky at nighttime.
The word left. It said the wall. I said, where's the gun? And I said, is it the right side or the left side? And it just said left.
How's your anxiety?
Bad. I was like literally shilling for a minute.
Go in the auditorium with you?
Yeah.
It wouldn't be alone in the dark though.
Yeah, bro. I think you're tapping out. This is officially a tap
I
out.
would just do it. Like your mental health. Look at you. You couldn't even hold your camera.
Dude, you were
If you
shaking.
can't do it, don't do it. You've
Yeah.
done enough.
It's not like this is like some massive like show. It's
No, he's definitely gonna lose cool points on this one.
no, he's not.
Dude,
Give him a hard
I know
time.
what's happening. So many noises up here, like banging down there, and then it started to say, kill, threaten, kill you.
See,
and,
no.
and I'm like, you
I think
cannot,
he's
you're
got
not gonna
cool
kill
points
me.
by being a leader and not a follower of what y'all want.
This is where the murders happened, right?
standing
Magnificent
around.
Seven. This is where it
Yes,
happened.
yes.
You're in a cell where someone was murdered.
I know, and it kept saying that, and then it started to turn at me, and then the REM pod went off when I asked if it wanted to kill me, and I fucking jumped back and screamed, and I'm like, you can't kill me. Like, I'm here to try to help you.
How do you feel mentally? Do you feel like mentally like
we
you're
weren't here
okay?
anymore. We're not here anymore. How are you gonna feel?
Anxious,
That's what I'm saying.
but I'd be fine. I can do it.
So why'd you call us up here?
Because I was anxious.
That's a tap, man. That's a tap.
The kill was like just freaking me out.
Right.
And this,
You're about to go into a place that literally took a whole person's body.
Someone was murdered up there too.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I just found that out.
Holy bad word.
A gay man. It was like a jealousy thing.
thanks.
Oh, dude, are you?
So, as you saw, I was so close to tapping out and telling Omar I need to go home now.
Lordy,
it
he's
was
gonna
like
try
3
it.
in the morning.
You just
I
need
was
a little
terrified.
quick breather and
But
back to it.
I decided, F it, I'm gonna go meet this demon face to face if he's really.
Oh
out
my
there.
God, Colin,
And so I
you're
went back
pulling
to
a
that area,
Sam
the
right
area
now.
where
Holy
someone
smokes,
was
you make me
recently
nervous for you,
possessed
boy.
by something that almost killed them.
This is how you get
And what does a
attachments. You
smart
realize this,
person
right?
Like me do? I brought a Ouija board back there and
Oh.
invited it to come talk to me and attack me. Luckily, I'm still here today. That video was officially filmed a year ago.
Oh, this is a year old
so
already.
That's
Okay.
good that nothing really came out
Surprised
of
you
it.
didn't have more attachments.
I'm not gonna lie and tell you that
than
this
do
wasn't
lately.
terrifying. So, yeah, just watch this. It's fucking wild.
Uh-huh. Okay, so there are exit signs, so that might have been what I was seeing that looked like it might have been lights. Oh my God, he's going in here. Ooh,
All right,
yeah,
so
here we are again. We got the willies.
Finish this out. I've
I've
gathered
seen
a
the
little
stuff
courage.
they've gotten in here before.
I'm very, 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 very freaked out of this room hearing the stories of this place. But I'm alone in the auditorium. This is where the evil thing supposedly resides.
The creeper.
It's already 3:30 in the morning, so I'm tired. I'm freaked out.
Last half hour, let's go.
Okay, if there's something in here, come through and talk to me. Portal's open for the next 5 minutes.
Speak now if you have anything you wish to be said.
My question for whatever is in here, or whoever's in here, is who or what are you? Hot. Is there somebody or something in here? Can you tell me who you are? Bones. So you're Bones? Are you the spirit of somebody who was murdered here? You're buried in an unmarked grave? Maybe that's why you're so angry. Is that true? Do people know your name? So your name is Edward. I did ask you for your name. What would help you move on? What would... In heaven. Edward wants to go to heaven. How can I help you with that, Edward? Are you a human, Edward? I have to leave soon. Who's Natalie, Edward? Is that your wife that you were taken away from? Maybe you were married, you got brought here, and then you got murdered? Who's Natalie, Edward? No way. If anybody can suggest to me what any of this might mean. Natalie's your grandmother. Maybe you have a kid that you want to come back here? Powerful. Dominant. Okay. At this point now, it gave me some clues, but now it's starting to do that same thing like back before where it said kill. It really freaked me out. Now it just said powerful and dominant, both in a row, like it's trying to intimidate me. I don't know what that means, but okay. I'm closing the portal. Goodbye. Whoever's in here, you cannot follow me. You cannot affect me. I am stronger than you. I am dominant here. I'm officially getting the hell out of here.
Didn't seem like it was too bad in there. A lot of reaction on the spirit talker, but that's about it.
Thank you to all the spirits who I talked to tonight. Thank you for interacting with me, but you can't follow me. What the hell? Thank God. That is over.
The noises that were up in that place, though, are extremely wild. I do
So
not
Brushy
know what was happening
Mountain
there.
State Penitentiary is a place that I've grown to love. It's a beautiful property nestled back in the mountains, but with so much dark, crazy history. I mean, you can't even believe how many people died there, how they died, the torture that went on there.
The things
I mean,
that
I
it still
challenge
does
somebody
to
to find a
people.
place with a darker history here in America. It's just, it doesn't end. And the fact that they still don't know who might be buried there, where they might be buried, you know, how many people died and how they died, it's just one big mystery. And I definitely want to return with Connor and my dad and see, you know, what's going on there and what more we can learn. Because being alone is too much. I can't do the whole alone thing. But I feel like if we had all three of us again there, it would be a totally different situation, and we could probably get to the bottom of some of these questions, like who died where and how'd they die, and I don't know. There's just a lot of mystery and history in Brushy Mountain. But thank you guys for watching. I know this video is a bit different than usual, but I thank you all so much for tuning in week after week. You know how much I love each and every one of you. We're entering the holiday season now, and we have some of the best videos we've ever filmed coming up. I'm not kidding. Screams galore, terrifying activities, some of the most insane captures we've ever had coming up in the next month. But yeah, it's Collin here. I love you guys so much. We'll see you next week, and stay spooky.
And hey, man, honestly, you're letting your nerves get the better of you for a little while there, but you still came around. I just wish you could have had more time to stay there and see if you got anything else other than a few things off the Spirit Talker. Next week, I return to my family's haunted house. Uh-oh. What's been happening at the household, man? Guess we're gonna find out in a couple days here, as long as I can keep up with the schedule. But that's gonna be it for now. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. If you're enjoying the Paranormal Files, check out the links down below to go check out the video immediately, and you can check out the video from there. If you're interested in my socials, the links will be below, as well as my other channels, my backup channels, just in case, you never know. As well as my merch store, where you can find shirts, even the ones like the one that I have digitally put together for this avatar. But that's going to be it for tonight. I have been Malice, and I hope you all had a good evening, and we will see you all next time. Pleasant dreams.